Alright, welcome back to a huge update for Streamlined, the analytics tool for HighLevel. And I just want to show you how everything works now because this is a massive update. If you remember, the last version had a few preset dashboards. They were kind of set in stone, but this one actually lets you customize dashboards. So let's go ahead and create a new dashboard and also show you there's now authentication. So previously there was actually no authentication, you just had a public link, but now we can log out and we can log in, and it is going to send over an email, so I'll wait for that. And this is basically a white label email. It says here AI analytics code, and it just is from login at auth.streamsender.com, which goes nowhere. So we'll log in there, and we're back in our dashboard. I'm logged in, as you can see, as an agency admin, which means I have privileges to look at the configurations, change how the AI works, all that stuff. But your users will just log in with their HighLevel account or their CRM account, basically, and they'll have the permissions that they have built into the account that you've gave them. So then we have our dashboards. Everyone, by default, you're going to have these 4 tables or dashboards that were already here. But for like locations and users, I've added some charts and some data here so we can see like appointments booked, things like that. And for calls, it's basically the data, the tables are actually the same. These aren't as customizable, but let's just create a new dashboard here. And I think I already have this test dashboard where I want to be able to see a lot of the data for my app. So what we have here is we have a few things. So we have new utility inquiries. So these are people who are looking to get information on or potentially install some of my other basic apps. And so we can click on this and we can see this is a custom metric. And so what we're doing here is we're saying the date range, we're looking at opportunities. So if we add opportunities as the metric we want to calculate, it's going to let us customize this metric here. And so we can say, okay, we want the date range at the top of the page to affect let's say when the opportunity was created, because we're just tracking how many inquiries were created over this time period. Then if we filter down by user, that'll be the opportunity owner. This isn't really relevant in this case. And then let's also say we want the opportunity status to be open, I guess. Actually, that's fine. We can leave that. The important thing is we want the pipeline name to be Streamlined Utilities. And then the metric, the aggregation we're going to choose is total count. And so if I click save there, then it's going to show us, Streamlined apps. That's the correct one. And so then it's going to show us our count of new utilities. And I must have some other filter that I forgot to add. But for analytics opportunities, this one's only including open, but we'll do just all. So we'll say where our pipeline is Streamlined Analytics, and we can see we have 22 opportunities. And then our new utility revenue, this is the total opportunities where the status is 1. And in this case, we're aggregating the total value. And then new analytics installs, this is in this pipeline where the total count. We're just taking the total count. But now with these custom metrics, we can actually do calculations. So what we can do is we can take total ad spend. So this is obviously pulling from our integration with Facebook ads. And then we can divide that by the total count of opportunities. So we can say, okay, ad spend, this is going to be over the ad spend date. And then we're going to say the opportunities are basically date created, and then the pipeline is Streamlined Analytics. And we'll say the status has to be 1, because that's what marks an install for us. And so now we can see that it's costing us $71 over this last 7 days to get an installation. And of course we can see, this is incorrectly named, but yeah, those are basically the custom stats. And we also have a few other metrics, so we can see like cost per booked appointment, but we could also add, we can add some kind of arbitrary number if we wanted to multiply it, and we could add time elapsed, so we could add like the total amount of days. And I don't know what this metric would be, but it would be cost per booked appointment times the amount of days, something like that. But that's the custom metrics. And then for the charts, so for wide charts that are 2 or 3 blocks wide, if that makes sense, we have a choice of a line chart or a bar chart. and we can choose from these target values and then group by an option here, and then you can choose what the user filter defines. And for these 1-by-1 charts, we can choose either a radar chart or a pie chart to calculate everything. And then we can add a new section, so we can add a table, and that'll show up at the top. And then the type can be any of these. So user, sub-account, contacts, calls, and we can just have it be like sub-accounts. And then that'll show all of our sub-accounts up here. And yeah, and then we can edit these sections, so we can delete that section, we can move it around, but I'll just delete it for now, and then it's gone from our dashboard. And so that's the custom dashboards. And we can also define the scopes. So for this dashboard, this is going to be able to be edited by any agency admin, and all of these people can view it. And so what we could also do is make it so it's only myself. So basically, it would just be anyone who is actually, it would basically just be only myself who can view and edit this dashboard if you want to have a private dashboard. But in this case, we'll just keep it how it was. And yeah, we can filter by sub-account. So we can filter it down. I mean, this makes a lot more sense to filter it just down to Streamlined, but we're already filtering by pipeline. And then we could also filter down by user. Now, the other thing you'll notice is that the studio or the settings page has changed. So now configurations have their own tab here. And so basically this just shows your configurations. We also have our integrations right here, and then usage is on a separate tab. And now you can actually manage your subscription right here to open it up in a Stripe portal. And we also have these grayed out options, which are kind of a preview of what's to come. Teams, reports, and white label. So teams is going to be grouping users. So if you want to have kind of like a configuration, but for your users, so potentially defining sales grading for that user, but also just kind of being able to figure out like, okay, what is the, you know, like when you're viewing your users, be able to filter down to a specific group, like appointment setters or, you know, like salespeople, whatever. Reports will be for AI reports, you know, sending reports automatically. And then white label, that in the future is going to be like defining, you know, colors and domain and whatever other white label stuff you want to show. And yeah, that is the bulk of the update. Now, what's to come? I mean, there's a lot to come soon. Mainly, I would say custom tables are going to be big. Especially, also, you're going to notice here that we have call sales grades by category. So this breaks down each category that we're grading on, and it makes more sense if I filter down to one sub-account. But the goal is going to be here, and actually this makes more sense if we go contact quality. So this shows our contact quality breakdown, and actually what we probably will do is add in things like UTM parameters, so UTM campaign, UTM source, UTM content, UTM term, UTM medium, and then also contact source, opportunity source, and that'll allow you to see close rate or contact quality by those different parameters, which should give you much better insights into how your marketing is actually affecting the quality of your sales process or the quality of your leads. And so, yeah, that's going to be really big, and that'll be coming pretty soon once we get the UTM and sources built out. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot to come. These custom dashboards are not done by any sense of the word, but this is a big step in the right direction, I think. And then also, I'll just share, there's this refresh button here, which is really helpful because when you refresh now, it clears these filters. That'll be changed actually, but this refresh button just saves you having to refresh the entire page and just refreshes the metrics. So yeah. Oh, dude, one huge improvement as well that I need to mention is previously when you would refresh, whenever you would load a dashboard, it would kind of load them one by one. So it would load this one, then this one, then this one, then this one. And it was very slow, but now we have parallel fetches. So you can see for this dashboard, it's almost instant. All of them load at the exact same time. If we go to a bigger dashboard like contacts, you can see it kind of loads like top to bottom, left to right, but it's instantly, it's like very quick. I mean, I'm also right next to the database, which is in Portland, by the way, so if you have really slow data, let me know and I can create a read replica of the database near you. But yeah, this is a massive improvement for the dashboard load times, and I'm super excited. I finally figured out what was causing this, and so yeah, that's fixed, and it should be very robust. These metrics should all be much more reliable than what we had before, and yeah, the main big improvement here is going to be focusing on building out this table to be custom. Of course, a fix for these paused ad accounts is going to be coming soon, but then, like soon as in like in a few hours, but then the main thing is going to be building out custom metrics for these tables and custom tables, because the tables right now are pretty dog shit, if I'm honest. To put it lightly, they're dog shit. I had AI write this logic for the columns and stuff, and you can see it says it's showing, well, that is showing 23 columns, but it's been a mess for me, and so I'm going to be improving this as much as possible. So yeah, that's the video. That's the update. Really hope you enjoyed, and leave a comment if there's any questions you have about this, or just book a call or install the app and try it out for yourself. There's now a 30-day free trial. So yeah, thanks for watching and hope you enjoy.